Hi, my name is Amy Baker, and today I am going to teach you how to do muscle testing. And muscle testing, it's also known as kinesiology, and a lot of chiropractors use it, as well as a lot of health food stores and things of that nature. And there are several different ways to do it. You'll see some people who they hold something over their chest and they have somebody else press on their arm. There's other people who put their fingers in a like a O shape and use their finger, or put their hand on a table and use a finger. There's all sorts of different ways to do it, and all of them work. There's not a wrong way to do it. Okay, however, I like to teach my clients how to use their feet, and we do this on their very first session. Before we even do their hypnosis, I teach them how to do muscle testing, and it's part of their homework every week that we're working together. And the reason for that is because muscle testing, it helps strengthen our intuition, and it helps us tap into a higher guidance to get answers that are right for us. Okay, I see every day on social media, on mom groups, where you have somebody and they're saying, oh, I'm having problems with, say, migraines. You know, what do y'all recommend to do for migraines? Well, they ask this to the group and they get 20 different answers. And all it does is it confuses them. And the reality is that migraines, it could be caused because their spine is out of alignment and they need to go to a chiropractor. It could be because they're low on magnesium. It could be emotional causes. There's like a whole bunch of different causes. And if it is magnesium, well, then there's like 8 different types of magnesium. So which one is the right one for them? Well, if you know how to do muscle testing, well, then you can narrow down what is causing the problem, and then it also helps you find solutions. And you get answers for you instead of depending on everyone else and then only getting confused and getting more wrong answers than right ones. Okay, so anyway, it's very easy to do, and it's a wonderful tool to have. Okay, so we start, and the reason I do feet is because this way we're not relying on anyone else having to be there. If we're using our arm, then someone else always has to be there. If we are using our finger or doing this and all these other people are around and we need to know an answer in our head real quick, well, we may be self-conscious using this. If we're using our feet, we can do that anytime without anyone else ever knowing. And it comes in really handy to find out if people are telling you the truth or not. If your kids are lying, your kid, spouse, or somebody's not telling the truth, then you'll know real quick. Okay, but anyway, so we focus on our feet, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to set our yeses and nos. And before I do this, I just want to say, so when I'm doing this live in my office, then obviously I'm able to know how you're getting it and how it's working for you, and I can time that. Since this is a video and I don't want it to take forever, I'm going to go through these steps fairly quickly. So if you need to pause the video, then just pause it. If you need to watch it all the way through and then come back and watch it and then pause it, then that's fine too. Whatever works for you. Just do whatever works for you. Okay? All right, so we're going to stand flat on our feet, and we are going to say, a yes for me is forward. And you feel what that feels like for you. Okay? Now, also, just so you know, I've been doing this for a really long time. So my yeses may be way stronger than yours. Okay, and also how hydrated you are will also affect how strong your answers are. And it doesn't matter the strength. All that matters is that you can feel the difference. That's all that matters. If you can't feel the difference, then just simply say, I need it stronger than that. Okay, so we will say a yes for me is forward. Okay, and you get your yes. And then say and show me a yes in my body and make it so strong that I can't miss it. Okay? So for me, that's like a really warm feeling in my heart. Okay? So, however yours comes to you is fine, as long as you can recognize it. So just make sure that you can feel your yeses in your body, and also know what it feels like in your feet. Okay? Okay, and now we're going to do our no's. Okay? So a no for me is backwards. Okay? All right? And show me a no in my body and make it so strong I can't miss it. Okay? Okay, so a no for me in my body is like the weight of the world on my shoulders. Okay? And so just make sure that you know the no. And this isn't really, the muscle testing may be new, but we've always had a good feeling whenever something is a yes for us. And we've also always had a feeling when something wasn't right for us, whether it was a relationship or a job or buying something and having buyer's remorse or whatever. We've had these sensations in our body before. The difference here is that we're doing it with intent so that we can use it moving forward. Okay. Okay, so now once we have those set, now we're going to practice it a little bit so you can get used to how it feels. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start with your name. Okay. And we're going to, so what this is testing, so it's testing what is positive for us, right? So we're always going to say it in the positive. For instance, I am going to say, my name is Amy. Okay, so yes, that is my name. My name is Amy. Okay. So now I'm going to test. So now test a name that is the opposite sex of yours. So my name is Larry. Okay, so no, I'm not a Larry. Okay, so test your name and feel how that feels. Okay, so now we are going to test a food that you like. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so, and sorry for all you vegans out there, but I am a meat eater. Today's my birthday, and we're grilling out some fillets tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. So, okay, so I am going to do that. So I like steak. Okay, yes, I do. Okay. All right, and so now test a food that you know that you like. Okay. And now we're going to test a food that we don't like, but we say it in the positive because we're finding what is true for us. Okay. So I love ice cream. No, I'm not a big ice cream fan. Okay. Okay. And so now you'll test food that you don't like. So just so that you can feel the difference here. Okay. And now just close your eyes and repeat the word yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. And you'll notice how not only does that pull you forward, but also wherever your yes in your body is for you, how much stronger you feel that on that one. Okay. And now we're going to do the same thing for no's. No, no, no. Okay. And so I feel it in my shoulders, feeling the weight of the world in the shoulders, and then also feeling it going backwards. Okay, and so this is how we find what's true for us and what isn't. Okay, and then now there's all sorts of different ways to use this, and but in my first session with my clients, then what I do after we set our yeses and nos, just like we have together today right here, then I have a huge I have an enormous library of different health books and diets and that sort of thing. Before I went into hypnotherapy, I was a health coach and was focused on that. So I have a huge library. And so what I do is I have my clients, we get some books, and I'll show you here in just a second, but we'll grab a book and I have them close their eyes, and they have no idea at all what we're testing. And we'll test these, and I'll show you in just a second. And the purpose of this, I'm not necessarily trying to put them on a diet, although some people come for that, but it helps them practice this and see how accurate their answers are. So what we'll do is I'll have them close their eyes, and I just hand them a book, and I will have them say, I'll have it hold them up to their chest, and I'll have them say, this way of eating would be beneficial for me. Okay, so that's a no. And so whatever's a no, it just goes in one pile. And then without them knowing, then with their eyes closed, I hand them another one. This way of eating or this protocol would be beneficial for me. Okay, so that's a yes. The Candida cure is a yes for me. Okay, then without them seeing it, then we do it again. This way of eating or this protocol would be beneficial for me. Okay, I get another yes, and that goes in a pile. And then without looking, we do it again. So this way of eating or this protocol would be beneficial for me. No. So that goes in the no pile. This protocol or this way of eating would be beneficial for me. No. This protocol or this way of eating would be beneficial for me. Okay, this goes in the yes pile. This way of eating or this protocol would be beneficial for me. No. Okay. This way of eating or this protocol would be beneficial for me. No. Okay. And so we just keep going through these. And so what we'll find is okay, so I had two different one. So now normally when I'm doing this in person, we go through like stacks and stacks and stacks, like tons of different books. But this is just an example. Okay, so I had two in the no pile that's showing me that the South Beach and that way of eating isn't for me. But I do see, so the Candida cure, so I need to work on Candida. Then it also shows the super gut. So this also has to do with Candida, microbiome, and gut health. And then the glucose revolution, which is all tied together because Candida eats off sugar. So this means I need to control my sugar. And so we start seeing patterns, okay? And so this is how we put things together. So for instance, I may have somebody who maybe they test like with their eyes closed without them having any idea whatsoever what we're testing. When we get finished, there is always a pattern in the books that they tested positive for. And there's always consistency in the ones that they tested negative for, even though they have no idea what they're testing. And so this helps them see how accurate their intuition is. And so it's just like a muscle. So they start using it and can get answers to lots of things that helps them that they would never know, because whenever we just read a bunch of stuff, we can get confused by all the overload of information that's out there. We're doing it this way with muscle testing, then we can get what's personal for us. And I can see 20 clients in a week and do this with every single one of them, and what's beneficial for one, the other 19, it may not be beneficial for them at all. We are all unique and we all have personalized needs, and the muscle testing helps us as individuals figure out what it is that we need. Okay, so we may have someone else who needs the Budwig diet, the Gerson therapy, body ecology, which means it's their immune system is what they need to work on, for instance. But if you just look at mainstream, they would have you believing that everybody needs to be on paleo. There's absolutely nothing wrong with paleo or keto or low carb or any of that, but it's just not necessarily for everybody. I see it in my office consistently. Okay, and so that's a great way to do this. Now, you do not have to have the book or the item held up to you. The reason that we do this is because it helps you focus. If you are asking if something in particular is, if we're checking to see if something in particular is beneficial for you, but you're thinking about something else, then the answers are muddled. And so when you have it physically, it just helps you focus. But you can just as easily go on Amazon, say you're wanting to check out different things, different books or different items, and you want to know what's beneficial. You can just be looking at that. You can even just have it in your mind. It's just however focused you are is going to determine your answers. Also, the quality of the questions, I can't stress this enough. The quality of the questions are extremely important. Like, I really can't stress that enough. Okay, and so, for instance, there could be, say somebody's out there dating, and they start, they have a date with this guy, and they're in here muscle testing. So-and-so, this is going to be a great relationship. This is going to be a very beneficial relationship for me. And they get a yes, okay? Well, just because they get a yes, that doesn't mean that that's going to be Mr. Right. Because lots of times we learn things from relationships that that don't turn out well, right? We learn just as much from our mistakes as we do from doing things right. And so there's a difference between this is going to be a happy, wonderful relationship versus this is going to be a beneficial relationship. Now, also, while we're on that note, so what I do is, where did I put it? Okay. Oh, here they are. Okay. So, once we narrow down the stack of protocols that are going to be beneficial for them, then we test to see how beneficial. Okay, because I literally have a closet full of vitamins and supplements. Okay, but I don't need all of them all the time. And all of them are beneficial to me to some extent. But I only want the ones that I actually need in the moment, okay, and the ones that are the most beneficial. So we put everything on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay, so now my number is 7. You can set yours for whatever sounds right for you. But for me, I only want things that are more beneficial than a 7, so that I can weed out all of the other stuff. Because lots of things can be just a little beneficial, but I only want what's most beneficial. Okay, so so we do a scale from 1 to 10. Okay, so again, I put this one and say, okay, so this protocol or way of eating on a scale from 1 to 10 is higher than a 7. Okay, wow. Okay, so this is good. I may need to re-examine this one. Okay, so this is more beneficial than an 8. No, but it's still a 7, so that's really good. Okay, so I'm going to pay attention to that one. Okay, so then this one. Okay, so we'll do this one. So this protocol or this way of eating on a scale from 1 to 10 is more beneficial than a 7 for me. Okay, great. Okay, this one is more beneficial than an 8 for me. This is more beneficial than a 9 for me. Okay, so this is perfect that I got this for this demonstration. So I didn't get a yes or a no. So that tells me that this is a 9. Okay, so we'll just test it. Okay, so this protocol is a 9 for me. Okay, so this is a 9. That is really, really strong. Okay. Now we'll test this one. Okay, so this protocol on a scale from 1 to 10 is higher than a 7 for me. No. Okay, so this one was beneficial for me, but it's not as beneficial as those two. Okay, so I can't focus on all three of these because these aren't, they have commonalities, but they're all different. So this helps me weed out the ones that aren't the best for me so that I can focus on the ones that are. Okay, so this one was definitely the highest, so this will be the one that I focus on. And maybe look through that one and get a few things of it. Okay, now real quick, back to using this for like relationships and stuff. Okay, so if you're doing this is for, I'm doing this video for the people who are purchasing my my sessions. So if you're watching this, I assume that you are doing the sessions. So if you are, then my advice would be to practice your muscle testing for everything this week. That start with the things that don't necessarily matter. We don't want to start with the big things like, is this the best job for me? Is this the best relationship for me? Do I need to sell my house and move to Timbuktu? Those sorts of things, because when we first start out, our emotions and what we want will get in the way, and it will muddle our results, and then we won't trust our answers. So begin with the things that really don't matter, right? And begin with muscle testing everything that you eat, because we can have mild allergies to things that affect us that we were totally unaware of. So start with those kinds of things. Testing your shampoo, testing if you take multiple routes to work, testing which one's going to be the best route for you, or for books, for just muscle test all of your vitamins and your supplements and medications and all of those sorts of things. And then as you're going through this program, if you're practicing the self-hypnosis, then it takes on to a completely different level. Right now we're testing yes and no's. But if you're going through the program, by the time you get to the 4th, 5th week, then you also start getting a whole lot of different answers coming in with your muscle testing. And you also, if you start muscle testing everything, then you will also find that you start getting answers without even asking. And that's another great reason to have it on your feet, because you will notice if somebody's not telling you the truth, then you will automatically start going backwards, and you'll recognize, hey, something's not right here. Or if you're at the grocery store and you're fixing to purchase something, then you may get like a no. Or if you're, something, I almost always buy organic, but sometimes organic's not necessarily the best, and you can muscle test your apples or finding the best watermelon or best hair color. Like you name it, it can be, it comes in useful. Having strong intuition is always beneficial, and this is the gateway that strengthens the intuition. So anyway, I could go on about this forever because I'm super passionate about it, but I don't want to take up any more of your time. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you practice this, and if you have any questions or anything at all, feel free to reach out. And I appreciate you watching and hope you have a fabulous day.